This is day 438 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. If you'd like to sponsor our coming shir or more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, please contact me directly. It would be very greatly appreciated. Today we're doing Siman Reish Tzadik Ches, also known as Tzadik Reish Ches, Sif Tes Zayin, to Siman Reish Tzadik Tes, Sif Vav. Tes Zayin. Yisib Gemara. Yoshin Beis Medrash. It says where they're saying Beis Medrash. Every Lifnim Ora, they brought in front of them a light, which is Shabbos. Beis Shabbos Kol Echad V'Echad Baruch Lat. So Shabbos says every person makes the bracha for himself. They beat to Beis Medrash. It's a way to pay attention would cause more Bittul Torah. You have Sikul Kulam Yilimod. Lishmar la bracha me'echad. They're all going to stop learning to hear the bracha from one of them. Yivaklu mitam utar. They're going to stop learning for a while. So when Echad mevarich l'kulam, it's better one makes the bracha for all of them. Mishum b'rovam hadras melech. The more people who participate in the mitzvah together is more glory for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. They'll answer amen on bracha. One of them there is more splendor for the king. That's why they're not concerned about the Beis Medrash being temporarily silenced, waiting for everybody to be Yotze together. Move on. Obviously, all the poskim paskin Beisil. The Beisham Bakam Beisil in the Mishnah. We don't paskin Beisham where Beisil argues on him. Beisil argue on them. Lufiza yesh lispala minag shalanu. Therefore, should be silent our minag. She'ain b'zeh bitul beis hamedrash. There is no bitul beis medrash by us in any event because we're in shul, not in beis medrash. Kol she'adon lipian borech. Everybody hears the Havdalah from the person making the bracha. Why does everybody make their own bar mereish? Now by us, really doesn't happen as Manaseh. This was a widespread minhag, which we do not have today. And then each one made the bracha themselves, happened with the Beis Hill. The Koshkin should explain which I bitul beis hamedrash. And again, as we said, by us there's no bitul beis hamedrash issue. The certain brachas seems to be the opposite. Shabbos says one person makes a bracha for all of them. Everybody makes a bracha for themselves. I and Sham. In long brackets here, it says after Gam Lefiat Sephilom Beisel Raka Beisel Medrash. Beisel only said Israel makes some bracha on the Beis Medrash. F Shalomar this really Gam Tomit Tzvilikin. It's possible that he holds always to do it this way. Because there's a bracha is not just on the creation of the light, but also on the use of the light, and that's Hana. One person is not, well, he can be motzi, but he's not necessarily motzi the other. Mishabur says, according to say that even somebody who made a Bari Mereish can go back and say Bari Mereish Mimotzi B'nei Beiso, which means that it's not a Birchas Nani, which is actually the Arukh HaShulchan learned previously, that it's primarily a bracha on the creation of light. And here is being Malam Chus on a minute, which he thinks is mistaken, but nonetheless doesn't want to undermine completely. So that's what he's coming to say, that perhaps he would say a Birchas Nani, even though that's not his primary approach. And it says, which again, we don't do this by us. We all say even Birchos B'samim, which is Birchos Ananin, with the person who makes Havdalah. But I'll be the Gam Birchos Ananin, Kishagam HaMvarech, Nari Yochlotzi, and obviously, as we just said, it's Birchos Ananin, even the person, one person being Motzi, another, they're both having Anoah. Nevertheless, it's really the Hadifa. Nevertheless, this minhag holds it's better for each one to make their own bracha. But I think with Tosefta based on Medrash, and that which Tosefta says based Medrash, Beis Shammai tells us the Chiddush according to Beis Shammai, we are mevatel based on Medrash in order to have Rov HaMadras Melech. Chakam Tzarech Yun Shuneglash. But the Arukh HaShulchan says he doesn't like the minhag, right? Because against our Gemara, my nation and our Shalom Magil Kulam B'Basachas have a hefsek. So he says very much more pragmatically, so everybody makes their own bracha, because it makes, it's sort of evidently the candles circulated, and by the time it reached the people at the edge of the crowd, it was kind of a half stick. So that's how they made their own bracha. Obviously, it seems that Arukh HaShulchan would prefer that we all yotze with one bracha. Yutain, Kosva Tuva Shulchan Sivu Gimel Dasuma Edom Barak Bari Mariaish. A blind person can't make the bracha Bari Mariaish. Because it doesn't get benefit from the light. It's not like the bracha of Yotzar Rosh Hashanah Mevarech, which where the Summa does make the bracha. It's not comparable at all. Must be Arabim Reish Tam Gimel Sivu Yites Ayin Sham. But the rest of Abdullah he has to make the bracha or here on his own. It's interesting. The Mishmur that Prima Goyim is not sure whether a person who's blind can be motzi other people in Bnei Mariyesh. Again, if it's a Birchas HaShevach, then even if he doesn't have a noah, he can be motzi others. If it's a Birchas HaNanin, he couldn't be motzi others. Back to Arukh HaShulchan. Baraj Tshuva Kasim Shem Goyim L'Sumei Mabdil Klau. The Goyim evidently was a Shitas Goyim. The blind person doesn't make Abdullah at all. He lies on Abdullah during davening. Ayin Sham. Ain't a moving cloud. Arukh HaShulchan does not understand this. Lamu Patam Abdullah. Why should be exempt from Abdullah? Sha'ala Kois. Like Kabbalah B'yad going below Tikna Abdullah Sha'ala Kois. Maybe it was a Misorah that the Kohanim had that they would not make Abdullah on the coast. El Sheish Kam Birchas Haner, unless it's also a bracha on the Ner as well. But of course, Arukh HaShulchan himself holds they're not contingent on each other. It's unclear. Nevertheless, since the Shita is going where it should be concerned with their approach, similarly as Abdullah Batzmo, blind person should not make Abdullah his own, El Yishma Me'acher, but rather hear from somebody else. I assume if he's in a bind, that he also should not, he should also be Yotze with his Abdullah in Shemona Esrei. But I'm not sure about that. We'll have to consider that further. Yushalmi says if the candle is within his wrapped in his garment, or even within a lantern, or some sort of lens, if he sees the flame, or similarly, if he sees the flame, but he cannot use it in the brackets, Arukh HaShulchan helpfully explains, he's too far from it. Or he can use the light, but he can't see the flame. The brackets Arukh HaShulchan says show me that situation standing to the side of it. You can't make the bracha so you see the flame uncovered and you use its light and you use the light. That's why it's a machlekes by incandescent light whether you can use that for Abdullah or not, because it's behind a bulb. So it's behind the bulb. Is the bulb going to be a hefsek like the panas here, like the lantern, or it's not going to be a hefsek because it is clear glass, not so much a lens, or rather clear glass. But that is the issue with making Abdullah an incandescent light bulb, and other light bulbs certainly can't use it because there's no flame. Rashi, Rashi writes that if it's in a glass, it's actually like seeing the flame. For Raya, the she's utterly close kriyashma. And the raya is from the fact that a woman is naked, is behind glass, you're still not allowed to read Shema in his presence. Because it says there shall not be seen amongst you nakedness. Whereas the lantern, you don't see the flame, evidently because of the way it's constructed. This seems to be against Yerushalmi, which says that you can't make Havdalah when it's the candle's behind a glass, and the Mishnah Berurah adds that some of the posts can hold like the Shulchan Aruch that not like the Rashba. So behind glasses you should not be mekel lechatchila. So, but Arukh HaShulchan says that it's like the kosher klal. Arukh HaShulchan says no, it's not difficult. He says the aspeklaria ain't ashoshes. He says the aspeklaria, which it says you're not allowed to use, is not the same thing as ashoshes. The ashoshes he lantern ashos chuchis. He's going that ashoshes is a lantern of clear glass. Aspeklaria, even though we often translate it as lens, not here. Here you can translate it spiegel. It's a mirror. It's a verb so kalim ayin sham. So therefore, a mirror is also glass is mutter. So this Mishnah Berurah and Arukh HaShulchan would have direct bearing on the light bulb issue. Then he says that's Baklar the Spiegel. Then before some Mesachas Kein Light Sham. Upanas Dom Ashkim Lampa, whereas the panas is the lamp. Yeshua Shalevis, and sometimes you can see the flame. Going Shishos Chuchis, such as where it's of glass. Yeshua, sometimes you can't see. Going Asun Minacher, it's made of some other type of material. Chein Aspaklaria from Mikachel, so too by Aspaklaria, sometimes you can see it, the flame, and sometimes you can't. Rashma Panas Enra Shalevis. The Rash was saying that a panos where you can't see the Shalevis, that's no good. Varushami Ma'Baroet. Yushami is talking about a panas where you can't see the Shalevis. Shash is lamra, but by a clear glass you can always see, and that would always be good. Okay, in the parentheses, brackets here, he says, Magen Avraham, Stifkon Chad Nichakla, Marda Mila Milik and Shamach Tziseka, Vein Tzorch Zevaduk, whatever Magen Avraham says not necessary, and he brings evidence where he said, Baruch Pirish, Panas Lampa Ayin Sham. So lamp is sometimes clear, sometimes not clear, sometimes you see the flame, sometimes not. But Ashashis, you can always see the actual thing. Okay? So I said this will have bearing on using incandescent light bulb for Havdalah. Reis Tesh, also lechol, v'asos malacha ad she'avdil. Now to eat or do malacha until you make Havdalah, but kama zman Havdalah. And how long do you have to make Havdalah? Also lechol shum davar, now to eat anything, or shtos yain, or shar mashke, or drink wine or other beverages, Misha Chashecha after nightfall, Kodem She'avdil before make Havdalah. V'afilu do betfilah even make Havdalah during davening. Also Kodem She'avdil, of course, not allowed to eat or drink until you make Havdalah in a cup. Levami Mayim, only water you can. Shem B'chashivka, which has no significance. Muta Medina, that's permissible according to the strict letter of the law. Zesh Anam Yizarim Gami Mayim, and that which we don't drink water even before Havdalah. B'Beslam Medina, it's not the strict letter of the law. Ela Mitam She's Barbasim Reis Tzadik Aleph. But rather because the we said in Simon Tzedek Al Psifei Al Pia Medrash Oz at the Chazar of the Shams and Gehenim Ayin Sham. They said Medrash says that then the Shams go back to the Gehenim. So therefore we refrain from water during that kind of out of solidarity. Avakol Machol Mashke also Medina the Gemara, but any other food or beverage is also according to the halacha in the Gemara. There's Chalav Chavas Avdol because he has the obligation to make Avdol. But I feel something Avdol the Rabban, even though it's all Avdol is only the Rabban, come become nevertheless Harei Mechuyev Avdol. You're required to make Avdol, eat Rabban. So that's what impedes you from eating and drinking regardless. V'raya shoy I feel something Avdol the Raisa, and evidence for this is that even according to those who hold that have those the Raisa, come Avdol goes Vade the Rabban. So Avdol in a cup is the Rabban. L'achreish you have to make Avdol during davening. Come also nevertheless. Despite the fact that it's become the Rabbanan, Chazal also eating. But now the man's really Karam Rabbanan, so the same thing would be true according to those old Abdullah is in its origin the Rabbanan. I feel sabik, and therefore I feel sabik chashecha also. Even if it's twilight, you're not allowed to eat or drink. Half an hour before nightfall. In other words, after Shkia, half an hour before nightfall. You shouldn't start then eating Suda Shlishis. Avokodem l'zeh mutar, but before that it's permissible. Pshita shibuach al dayin Suda Shlishis. It's obvious that if you didn't eat Suda Shlishis yet, and you pass Shkia, shetzorach loch lafil achar Shkia. Even shortly after Shkia, it's still time, you have to start the Shalosh. The bracket says, I'm going to go to Shekosati Mispal Aris Mildion, also called Shiavdil. If you dive in a matter of early Motzai Shabbos, you can't eat until you make Havdalah. Pri Megadim Kisika Zev Kasav Lo Dami the Kiddush. Pri Megadim disagrees. Holds it's not like Kiddush where you can do it early. So therefore, actually, according to the Pri Megadim, there would be a Kiddush here that you can eat after making the after having Marabi Boyd Yom until it's a time when you can make Havdalah, which is at least after Shkia. Base, Yesh Misramim Mausulas Gdola Shemaschim Lechol Samal Chashecha B'Shabbos. Those who get upset that people start eating large meals right before nightfall on Shabbos. It's a gomor. And so you say it's completely usher. It's Bachar Magen Avraham. Yesh Mishamati, those who permit this. Dena Isra Ela B'Vadei Chashecha. It's only prohibited to start when it's definitely dark. This is Tas. Dena Zu Evi Echad Me'agdol M'Shem Piskei Taisus. And what the brings us the name Piskei Taisus, because about Nefesh Yisrael Le'achol Sabek Chashecha. About Nefesh should be careful not to eat during the time when it's twilight. But can't protest against others. Once the day has passed, also lo lechol l'shtos, can't eat or drink, or do work, or litom klum, or taste anything So he says, specifically once the day has passed, it's also. Furthermore, the dumi the malacha naki. He's drawing an analogy, a parallel between malacha and eating or drinking. Which certainly there's no question of doing malacha before darkness. Therefore, you can even start shalshus later until it gets actually dark, which is a good thing to be mlamed chasidim who starts shalshus late. But it's preferable to be careful not to come to this. Start at least as the sun is going down, not later, and they will be blessed. Birlacha also tries to miyashiv the minhag of, I guess, Chasidim, that since it's only a Durabanan, not deeper for Avdallah, and it's a Mocha Mitzvah, so therefore they pass in Lukul like Rabbi Yossi, that Zman whose Zman Ben Hashmoshos is later than Zman Ben Hashmoshos Rabbi Yehuda, but that still doesn't give you that much leeway. Gimel, B'zeo las Chibusuda, that's to begin. Rabbi Yoshi B'suda began before the day, during the daytime. And you continue eating even several hours after dark. You don't have to interrupt. Not from eating nor from drinking. Not like on Erev Shabbos. When it gets dark, you have to stop, puris, mapa, makayish, and spread a cloth and make a kiddush. The Adram, the country, Kamod of Erev Shabbos, they cover the Shabbos. Erev Shabbos, the reason why you have to stop is because of the honor of Shabbos. That's the opposite. They cover the Shabbos because the honor of Shabbos and you don't have to stop once it becomes dark. Not only that, it's forbidden to interrupt the meal just because it became dark. Looks like you're banishing the king. And the Mechilta says, preserve Shabbos at the end like somebody doesn't want his beloved to leave. The Shabbos Kovas the Kiddush love. No, that's why by the Psachim it says that Shabbos is required you to make Kiddush, but there's no such thing as Shabbos requiring you to make Havdalah. Dalit B'zeu Dasa Rambam Barosham V'chein Kosurashi V'Rashbam V'Toisvis B'Kom despite all these Rishon Kosav Asmag the Me'arif Nireh the Zeu Davka B'Safik Chashera. But the rif it sounds like only when it's Safik dark you can continue eating. L'Varech Hashem, now it's definitely dark. L'Varech Hashem, it's definitely dark. You have to stop and make Havdalah. The same thing. Those who are concerned with their perspective. So about the Marshal, he stops in the middle of a wedding banquet. Perhaps it was a Sheva Brachas. And went to the shul to daven. Then came back to the Sudah. So that's the Yeshua which view b'Shulchan Aruch is the opinion of the Yeshomrim, the Yeshon which says Yeshomrim the Hayim Mil Sarach Hashem. So by doubtful darkness, but it's definitely dark. I feel Yoshe b'Ochel in the city eating pores mapa umavdil. New thing. You put down a cloth and you make Havdalah. The Gomer Sudah to go back to eating the Sudah. Akal Shana. But nobody passed it today. We all passed by the first opinion. Shudas loiva place commission opinion most poskim. Hachin ikiyam with this minig oilam. Chayin pasuk Rabbeinu Ramon. That's exactly Rambam. Hey, b'zel k'shiyashu b'suda. That's if they're sitting at a formal meal. And Yoshe b'sleis is sitting and drinking. Even there are many people sitting and drinking. The chashcha and becomes dark. Tzrichim ma'afsik they have to stop. She'ein zekvius. They had no permanence to carry them over. Ba'afilu ochlim peiros midos. Even eating fruits and cakes. Fruits and delicacies. I feel ochlim mezainos and zekvius. If you have the mezainos, it's not considered to be a formal meal to carry over. That's cute crap. Because if it's kvius and it's on cake, you should wash. The Baruch HaMotzi. Since they didn't do this, they're eating as a snack. They never stop when it's chashecha. What have you started when you shouldn't have started? Sit down to eat when it became dark. can't continue. You have to interrupt. Feel Kar Krishma, he read Shema. It's no good. Because he didn't read Shema. Harei Mapsik in the Krishma, you have to interrupt because of Shema. Feel Karam Chashecha, even if it was before darkness. He was still Chatzi Shok, Kasam Chashecha. He would start within half an hour of darkness. Which happens to Rish Lamed Hay. Yeshu Shema, those who say the Zel Dafka Manas Fili Abdol Midaraisa. That's going to be the old. That Abdol the Raisa. Manas Fili Abdol the Rabbanan. But going to holds the Rabbanan. He's Chil Leachol if he started eating, even when he shouldn't have. Ain't Tzorch Lafsi, you don't interrupt. Like any other Rabbanan. That's what Abraham. Arukh HaShulchan says, well, here, that's not clear at all. Abdullah is not like anything else. No, it's not like you start eating when you shouldn't have mincha. But you can continue with the Evan. But here's different. Came to Dafka B'tchilas Ha'ayos, since Abdullah was an act to be specifically beating of the night Motzei Shabbos. You have to interrupt, even if it's the Rabbanan. That's the primary halacha. But when he started adjacent nightfall, came in Sheish Matirin, that was adjacent nightfall right afterwards, even. So some people are matik which have seen base, ain't no mafsik. Again, it's talking about where he washed. Ach b'shum kriya shema, but it's shmi. What about shema? If he didn't read shema, the makarat near should start lapsik. They'd be kiddush. Yeah, when it gets to Barei nightfall, you should stop to say kriya shema. Therefore, you still read Shema as you continue to enjoy your festive repast of the extended Shalish Shudis. Mishnah says, even if it's just Safik Hashecha, you have to interrupt if you were not eating it as part of a meal. I think that's what it means. No, he said no. Mishnah say Safik Hashecha, you have to interrupt for Shema. Even Safik Hashecha, you have to say Shema before continuing your Shal Shudas. The Leil must not mark me on this Mizman Hazeh to say Kriya Shema in the middle of Shal Shudas. I assume because we're Minyan Kavua for the most part, but I haven't seen even people who done Minyan Kavua ever stop for Shema. I guess because usually it's before the most definite time for Shema. So therefore, not like the Mishnah Berurah, even though it's Safik Hashecha. The Arukh HaShulchan says when it is Chashecha, so people wait and say Shema after they're finished.